Bueno, la 13ª lectura. Surges of cross-border capital flow. The impact of digital finance. Dice algo como flujos. Surges of cross-border, eso es como de fronteras de capital, supongo, algo así. El impacto de las finanzas digitales. Bueno, vamos a comenzar. Entonces dice, abstract. In this paper, we empirically investigate whether and how digital finance development affects the probability of cross-border capital inflows surges, based on cross-country datasets for 120 countries from 2000 to 2021. We mainly find that with a higher level of digital finance development, a country is more likely to experience capital inflow surges. We provide further evidence that digital finance promotes surges through two mechanisms: financial convenience mechanisms, where digital finance provides more convenient financial access and payment, which enables large-scale capital inflows. The contagion mechanisms that investors' sentiment may spread more broadly and rapidly as digital technology develops. In the digital era, these results are robust to endogeneity issue measurement errors and sample selection biased tests are heterogeneous in economic development, capital account openness, and exchange rate flexibility. Findings in this paper uncover the risks in the development of digital finance in the cross-border content and prompt the necessity to improve the management and capital flows in the digital era. Introduction. Since early 2000s, capital flows, as an important reflection of cross-border financial activities, have experienced increasingly frequent abnormal fluctuations. The proportion of capital inflows that exhibit significantly abnormal increases, defined as surges, has risen from around 10% in the 1980s to about 30% in the early 21st century, peaking before the 2008 financial crisis. As a more volatile market, the equity market has witnessed even more suggest during the past 2 decades. Unregulated, large capital inflows in the equity market have severe impact on the economic and financial stabilization. Numerous financial crises in the history were resulted from severe fluctuations in capital flows, with prominent examples as the Asian financial crisis of 1997 and the global financial crisis of 2008. These events highlight the significant impact that capital fluctuations can have on the macroeconomic and financial markets. The advent of substantial capital inflow may precipitate an excessive credit boom and escalate asset evaluations, increasing the propensity for reversals that in turn evoke output contraction and financial crises. Empirical analyses have verified that capital inflow surges do increase the probability of the receiving countries experiencing currency crisis and balance of payments crisis, given that the extremely volatile capital flows may pose a threat to these countries' macroeconomic and financial stability. It is of great importance to study the factors driving capital inflow surges for policymakers to formulate appropriate policies to manage these risks. In the past 2 decades, as shown in digital technologies such as computers, mobile phones, and the internet have developed at an unprecedented pace, profoundly influencing and changing financial activities at the same time. Supported by digital technology, digital finance has developed resplendently in the past decade, leading to improvements in the traditional lending model of financial intermediaries, financial inclusion, and financial services. In the perspective of global financial activities, the development of digital finance may lead to abnormal capital inflows for a country as it enables better access to finance and payment for international investors and promotes their response to global events. Current literature pays little attention to the relationship between digital finance and capital inflow abnormal surges. The current literature contributes a lot to investigate how development of digital finance benefits the financial development. Some, some explores its improvement in the global context, such as Portes and Ray and Portes it, who found that the use of fixed-line telephone communication could have alleviated information asymmetry in cross-border bilateral capital flows to some extent, but few has studied the cause of risks of it, given the synchronous phenomena of the increasingly rapid capital inflow surges and development of digital finance. In this paper, we aim to explore whether and how digital finance may affect capital inflows surges to deepen our understanding of possible risks embedded in the development of digital finance. On one hand, digital finance may contribute to the improvement of service efficiency within the financial systems and show as a pull factor for capital flows, increasing a country's attraction for foreign investment and the likelihood of increased capital inflows. On the other hand, digital finance development, propelled by digital technology development, accelerates the speed of the dissemination of information and fosters the convergence of investment expectations. Therefore, increases the contagion of risk sentiment among investors, which subsequently augmenting the probability of capital inflow surge. More specifically, we are going to address the following questions. Does digital finance development increase the likelihood of abnormal surges in capital inflows? What are the channels? Are these effects heterogeneous at the country level? To address these questions, we employ cross-country datasets of 120 countries from 2000 to 2021 to study the relationship between surges and digital finance. Country-level capital inflows measures are derived from the financial accounts of the IMF's International Balance of Payments Framework. Gross capital inflows arise when the economy incurs more external liabilities, inflows with a positive sign, or the economy reduces its external liabilities, inflows with a negative sign. Measures on digital finance is obtained from World Bank and E2. Based on several robustness tests, we obtained the following main findings. First, the development of digital finance significantly increases the likelihood of capital inflow surges. In the baseline case, the odds of an inflow surges increase 20.8% if digital finance development increases by 1. This finding is robust to endogeneity test, different measures of digital finance and definitions of surges, and different samples. Second, for the mechanisms we provide evidence that digital finance promotes surges since it's more convenient financial access and payments, as well as that investment sentiment may contagion more broadly and rapidly in the digital era. Third, these results are heterogeneous in economic development, capital account openness, and exchange rate flexibility. This study contributes to two branches of literature. First, we contribute to the studies on the impact of digital finance. Fintech institutions are found to increase in financial products and financial inclusiveness by having information advantages in credit evaluation, increase interbank transaction and credit loans by reducing operating costs, and improve intermediary efficiency. Digital finance has also changed the structure of the financial industry and competition among financial institutions. The risk of digital finance has attracted some attention. One investigated the risks of P2P platforms in China, found that financial technology may trigger systemic financial risks as it leads to greater concentration due to network effects and scale effects. Found that digital finance is one of the important factors for the increase of shadow bank loan. We provide the very first evidence on the effect of digital finance in asset traction fluctuations in the global context, trying to explore the impact of digital finance on a country's imported financial risk. Second, we add to the literature on the driving factors of capital inflows surges by incorporating digital finance as a new factor. The research framework of the driving factors of capital inflow surges is basically consistent with capital inflow, mainly including common global push factors such as global interest rates, global liquidity, global risks, and macro news shocks, and country-specific pull factors such as the fragility of financial system. Policies and economic performance. Apart from this, contagion defined as the result of surges happening in another recipient country which is in the same group. It is also one push factor of capital inflow surges. The transmission mechanisms for contagion include trade linkage, Financial linkage, geography, location, similarity, or similar economic characteristics. Different from the existing literature, we are the first to explore how digital finance development of the recipient country affects capital inflow sources. This would benefit our understanding of the source of sources in the digital era and formulate better policies to manage the risks of sources. The subsequent sections of this paper are organized as follows. Section 2 provides a detailed account of the empirical methodology, the data source, and variables employed in our study. Section 3 discusses our mainly baseline results, followed by a mechanism analysis in Section 4 Robustness Test in Section 5 and Heterogeneity Analysis in Section 6. Finally, Section 7 concludes the study. Methodology and data. 2.1 Empirical specification. The baseline specification employed in this study is expressed as EQ1 and 2 following Caballero and Forbes and Warnock. Que hay como una fórmula. Okay. Word search is the dummy variable for equity inflow surges in country I in year T, and search IT is the underlying continuous latent variable measuring the likelihood of a surge. DigFin is the proxy for digital finance X. Are control variables including growth, exchange rate, capital account openness, and shadow federal funds rate. As mentioned in Caballero, the exogeneity assumption of time invariant variables can be relaxed following modeled strategies to include in the random effect model the country cluster mean of the covariates which we suspect are endogenous. Thus, we use the Riemann-Lach estimator by including the country means values of independent variables DFIN and X. The model with country means can be written as EQ3. 2.2 Data and Variables. 2.2.1 Cross-border equity inflow sources. The cross-border equity data is sourced from the IMF's balance of payments (BOP), where inflows are the net liabilities in the financial account. The equity capital flows include inflows of equities in securities investment and inflows of financial derivatives as suggested by Caballero. Net recording in the financial account means aggregation whereby all the entries of a particular liability are netted against all credit entries in the same liability type. For analytical reasons, net recording of flows in financial liabilities are recommended in the international accounts because financial markets are typified by large turnover and the focus on the financial account is on the net changes in each of external financial liabilities due to transactions. This study follows the approach of Caballero to construct a dummy variable for equity inflows such as: first, we calculate per capita equity inflows across countries at time t. Second, we use the Hodrick-Prescott (HP) filter approach to get the circle component of equity inflows. Third, we define the search dummy as equaling 1 if the circle component is greater than its one standard deviation, otherwise equaling 0. This study employs most countries' equity inflows data available for 120 countries from 2000 to 2021. Ok, hasta aquí llegó la lectura, se acabó el tiempo. Bueno, en resumen, en el documento se investiga de manera empírica cómo el desarrollo de las finanzas digitales afectan la probabilidad de oleadas de flujo de capital a nivel de frontera. Bueno, dice que efectivamente las finanzas digitales promueven estas oleadas por medio de dos mecanismos. Bueno, el primero dice que las finanzas digitales promueven el acceso financiero a gran escala. El segundo mecanismo dice que los inversores se propagan de manera más amplia a medida que se desarrolla más la era digital. Bueno, dice que el documento se divide en 7 secciones, entonces la segunda dice que se provee una cuenta detallada de la metodología empírica, los recursos de los datos y las variables empleadas en el estudio. En la sección 3 se discute el resultado de la referencia inicial, seguido por mecanismos de análisis. En la sección 4, los test de robustez. Sección 5, el análisis de heterogeneidad. En la sección 3, en la sección 6 se finaliza, y en la sección 7 se habla de las conclusiones del estudio. Listo, eso es todo.